Hello, everybody. It's Christy Whitman with the Quantum Success Show, where you can get your information and inspiration to create your desires. And as you can see, I have a guest next to me. This is Rich Gurman. He is a dear friend of mine. He's also a best-selling author, speaker, a business and lifestyle coach. It's crazy how many people he's coached and how many hours he's coached. They say you're an expert when you do, 10,000 hours? And he's beyond that. So since 1999, he's conducted over 18,000, it's amazing, 18,000 individual coaching sessions. His last book, Monetize Your Passion, teaches people to turn their greatest passion into financial freedom. And over 40,000 plus copies are in current circulation. He's also the co-creator of the JV Insider Circle, a powerful community that supports coaches, authors, speakers in building their businesses with joint venture programs. And Rich lives in Laguna Beach, California, and when he's not working, he's usually on his paddleboard with dolphins and whales and all sorts of stuff. So, hey, Rich.
Hey, Christy, how are you, sweetie?
Awesome. It's awesome to finally have you on the show.
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah, so I just want to start off by saying that, no matter who we are, doesn't matter if you don't have a job, if you're a full-time mom, if you're currently looking for a job, if you have a business that you're building, or you have a super, empire that you've created, it doesn't matter if you're a corporate executive, it doesn't matter any of situation. We always are in partnership with someone or something. So first and foremost, we're always in partnership with, hopefully, our connection with our higher self, with our divine self. And everything we do, everything we say, everything we talk about, everything we say, everything we think about, we believe, we're always vibrating an energy out into the universe. And that energy is going out and it's connecting with other things, other people that offer the same vibration. So we are in a constant partnership and relationship with everything in our universe. And so why I wanted to have Rich on is because he comes from that premise too, that, we're always in relationship, whether it's money, whether it's, finding clients, whether it's trying to find our ideal partner, whatever we give out in relationship to what we think about and the vibration, how we feel, is what we attract in that particular relationship that we are desiring to make better or improve or whatever it is. Agree?
Totally agree. And as you say that, it really gets me thinking. I've been doing this a long time, so I don't really think about it maybe on a daily basis why I do what I do. But I spend a lot of time every single day working on raising my energy, raising my vibration. And the biggest reason I do it is because I do it for myself. I just like to feel energized. I work every day on becoming more of a whole person. And I do it for the sake of being whole. I do it for the sake of being healthy, for the sake of being energized. But no doubt about it, as much as it's helping me in my own, self, it's totally helping my business, my relationships, everything. Because, basically as my energy elevates, my magnetism increases. And from a pure business standpoint, my focus obviously being joint ventures, for sure I'm going to attract higher level people into my world if I'm vibrating at that higher level. So it's good to hear you kind of affirm why I do what I do every day.
You're welcome. No, it's true. And I've witnessed you. You came to me. Do you want to tell the story of how we met? Because we connected, 7-8 years ago, and we've been fast friends ever since. But you want to tell everybody the story?
The one, the first joint venture that I did, you mean that one?
Yeah.
Yeah, so it was back in 2008. I had just started my own company, and it was within, the one part about the story we don't remember is who actually introduced us, but back in 2008, I was working for another coaching company. Like you said, I've done 18,000 coaching calls, and the majority of those were when I was working for another company, and they basically handed me the clients. So it was good because they gave me the clients, but it was bad because the environment that company was functioning in was a very dysfunctional, very negative, very fear-based environment. So bad that I had to quit, which was painful, but it was great because it led me to start my own company. And when I started my company, the first thing I realized was I don't have an audience. And if I don't have an audience, how am I going to get any clients? So I immediately that's when I wrote my first book, which was called Living the Law of Attraction. And I created an 8-week program based on the introduction to that book. And then I said, okay, I've got this cool 8-week program, but I don't have anyone to market it to. And someone, and you and I can't remember who it was, introduced us. I basically reached out to people I knew of influence, and I said, hey, who do you know that I should know? Who do you know that I should meet? I'm putting myself out there in the world. Who should I be connecting with? And we had a mutual friend who will go unnamed because we don't remember who she was or who he was. And they said, hey, you got to meet my friend Christy Whitman. She's awesome, and she has this large audience of people interested in the law of attraction. And I was like, whoa, that's cool, because my thing is based on the law of attraction. You and I got on the phone, and this is actually goes back to what I was saying about energy. We just started talking. You didn't know who the hell I was. I was an unknown. I'd been a coach for a long time, but I was completely unknown in the LOA world and the world of personal development in general. And somehow I convinced you on that call to interview me to your audience. And you sent out a couple. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, let's take a time out, because I remember that call, and I remember I instantly just fell in love with you, because it's true. I mean, I'm very much a go by my gut, go by like how I feel. And when I get on a phone with someone and I feel it's kind of wonky, or it's a no for me. But with you, it was like I saw how, truly motivated you were from the place of teaching and serving. And you really were out to help benefit people. You obviously wanted to make money yourself, which is awesome. But it was like your whole mindset was like, this is a win-win-win. And that's what I'm attracted to, is because that's the kind of people I want to partner with. That's what I put out, is that everything is, I'm going to give, I'm also going to receive, but it's going to be a win-win-win for anyone and all involved. And you totally had that.
Thank you. And you bring up a great point when people listening, if you're looking to do a joint venture, which is my specialty, or partnerships in general, you can't just make it about you. You got to come from a place of, how can I really bring value to this person? So at some level, I must have said, hey, if you interview me, it's going to be a great service to your audience.
Yes.
And the reality is, it was. You promoted me. I remember the numbers, even though it was 7 years ago, because it was the first time anyone ever promoted me. 856 people from your audience opted in to hear the interview, which meant I had now 856 new people onto my list, which at the time was my entire list, because it was the first joint venture that I did. We made a bunch of sales. I filled up my program. You and I split the money. So we totally created a win-win-win. And that was a huge, I still tell the story today, because that was a huge thing for me, because that was, I didn't realize it at the time, but that was a joint venture. That was two people collaborating, supporting each other, making an impact for their audiences, making money. It was a joint venture all the way. And from then, I just started doing them over and over and over, and have built up a pretty darn successful business just from doing that. So
absolutely,
I'm eternally indebted to you for that, Christy.
Oh no, your friendship is enough, honestly, and that's just it. Is that I attract. I'm one of the things, like, I've been really blessed, because it's like I get how to work with the universal laws. And so it's like if I really focus on something, I attract it pretty easily into my life. And one of the things that I am most appreciative, like really, really lately, is the friendships that I have attracted and the kind of experiences and interactions I have from my partnerships. Now, going back to the beginning of this interview, partnerships could be anywhere from a love relationship. I could be in partnership with my kids. I could be in partnership in business. It's all about relationship, and it's always the energy flow going back and forth. And if it's coming out in a beautiful high vibrational energy, then it's going to be matched by that. And so this like beautiful ping-ponging back and forth, it's like it feeds both. It benefits both. It expands both involved. And, that's really what I'm about, and that's what I could feel. And so it's like I'm appreciative because I have someone like you in my life, and I cherish my friendships. And so, when this is just for everybody listening, when you come from a higher perspective, when you come from a aligned place, and what you're putting out, if I was to get on the phone with Rich and my filter was, all right, what does this guy want? Like what's he going to try to take from me? What kind of swindler is he? if I'm putting that out and I'm thinking that every person that wants to connect with me is a jerk, or they want something, they want to take something, that's what I will attract. That's the kind of person that will show up. But if I'm coming from a place of, there's beautiful people out there that really do want to serve, that are abundant mindset, that they have the abundant mindset, then I get to attract people like yourself, Rich. So it really is.
And if you came from a place of, oh, what can I get from this guy? What can I get from him? I'm going to be on my defense, like, oh, she just in it for herself. Exactly. So I think if everybody's coming from a place of how can I serve you, how can I support you, how can I love you, how can I offer value, if everybody's coming from that place, you're going to create some magic. So I think I want to add one word to the mix. We keep talking about the energy that we put out, which is very important. The other thing you want to really look at is your belief. I believe that you will attract to you, you will manifest anything that you want, but only at the level that you believe in yourself. So every day, that's why I work on not only raising my energy, but raising my belief. If you look at what's the number one thing, Christy, why people don't succeed, they don't believe in themselves. Right. I'm not good enough. I'm not worthy. I mean, I've heard it thousands of times, and so have you. So yeah. I think every day, the more, it's kind of, I call it good selfishness. The more selfish we are, meaning working on ourselves, raising our energy, our vibration, our belief in ourselves, our belief in our ability to make a difference for other people. If you can nail those things, then this all happens. I'm really good at teaching people the A to Z steps on how to do partnerships and how to build a business. But what I've discovered is that people are still coming from a place of fear. If they don't believe in themselves, the steps don't matter. And sometimes I think we get so into the tactical parts that we forget that we need to take the time to work on ourselves. So that's why whenever I work with someone, I don't start by saying, hey, what are your business goals? I start with, what are your lifestyle goals? And this is another area that you and I resonate with. I'm someone that is a firm believer that the first thing you need to begin thinking about and focusing on is, what kind of lifestyle do you want to live? How do you want to spend your time? I never set any appointments early in the morning, and I never set any appointments late in the day. And the reason is I like to wake up and have 2-3+ hours for myself to go out in the ocean and connect with nature, to meditate, to eat healthy, to exercise, to do all these things to raise my energy and to work on my own self-healing. I'll meditate. Here's what I do. I meditate in the morning. I make a connection with spirit. And then I'll kind of go deep and see, how am I feeling? What's going on? I've been doing this a long time, but I'm a human being and we're all the same. We all have fears and worries and doubts. And so I'm looking at, what's going on with me, and I'll work on those things before I really dive into my day. And I know you do similar things.
Absolutely. And I'm so glad you said that, because I think it's the perception of a lot of people that are either, that are a coach or that are really successful, that, well, they've got it all together. They don't ever feel bad. They don't ever have an off day. And it's just not true. You said it best. We're human beings. And, I witnessed, it's amazing how much my kids teach me, but I witnessed Maxim, my youngest, just a couple weeks ago, where it's like he's just full of joy. It's like I call him my joy boy. He's just, they're both joyful, but he's joy boy. And one afternoon, all of a sudden, we were driving like an hour away from home. We were coming back that night, and he goes, I miss my home. And all of a sudden, he just went right into his feelings. He started crying. I could see him processing the energy of that sadness. It was like he peaked it, and then it just went away. And then within seconds later, he wiped his tears, and he was back to joy boy. And it's like, these emotions, these thoughts might take us on a place where it's like, oh, I'm not there, but I want to be there, and I'm not there. So we get in that space of lack, and then there are emotions that come with it. And as long as we're present like a child, they haven't been taught to not listen to their emotions or stop crying. I'll give you something to cry about. Thank God we have not taught them that. So they're able to feel that whoosh of emotions or that offness and process that so that they can go back to being joy boys.
That's such a beautiful story, because if you look at what something happens in life and how do we respond? We respond in one of three ways. Most people will repress how they feel. They'll hold it in, they'll hold it in, they'll hold it in, they'll mask it, they'll numb it with alcohol and drugs or whatever. So we can either repress our feelings. A lot of people will act out. Something happens and they get angry and they lash out at whoever's around them. Your story was a beautiful example of the healthy way, which was actually to work it out. So he felt, oh God, I'm missing home. I feel that way too. Whenever I leave the beach for a day, I start crying also. So he didn't actually get emotional. What I'd say is he got into his feelings. Oh, this doesn't feel right. I'd rather be at home right now.
Yeah.
And he was able to process that feeling and work through it, which to me is a great testament to his awesome parents for maybe teaching him to do that. All right.
No, you know what? I didn't teach him not to do that. Like, that's natural for him, and that's natural for Alex. We didn't teach him how most of us were taught. We didn't teach him not to do that. And that's why I'm looking at him going, oh, well, that's how you do it. It's like that quick. It's that easy, And it's like, and I've been just really honing into, like, anytime I'm feeling frustration or I feel a little bit of anger or I feel a little bit of sadness, I now completely just stop myself and I go into my belly, and I know that everything is energy, including emotion. So I go right into the energy. I don't have to go, ooh, this is anger, and then let me tell a story about the anger. I just go into that intensity of the energy like a wave, ride it out until it subsides, and then it's amazing what energy then shows up.
I love it.
Yeah, it's amazing. So
I love the conversation of feeling and emotions. I think in this world of personal development, I've been saying for years now, there's a flaw in my mind. That flaw is we're always taught about our thoughts. Our thoughts create, our reality. And I'm not saying your thoughts aren't important, but I always look at, well, what actually creates our thoughts? Where do our thoughts come from? And I'm in the school that our feelings are what create our thoughts. And if we can work on being a feeling person, that's really the journey of my life, is to try to get out of here and really live in here the whole time. I don't have much value for my thoughts anymore. I really don't. And what I really care about is my feelings and the people that I love and that I'm surrounded by. It's the same thing. Like I don't care that much how you think, but I really care what you're feeling. So
absolutely.
I love the conversation.
And I love how it's circling back too, because again, no matter who you are wanting to attract, whether you're in business and you're wanting to attract a certain person, maybe you need someone as a tech team or an admin, or you want more clients and you want to partner with people that have the same kind of clients you do, like what we're talking about, doing JVs, whether you want to attract an ideal partner, whatever it is, again, it's the energy you give out. And if you're clean and clear with your own energy, then you will be able to easily attract somebody else, clients, which then leads to money, opportunities, whatever it is. But it's always about your own emotions and keeping them clean and clear. So, Rich, you're awesome. I know you have a webinar coming up for those people that are interested in learning more about JVs, because you're frankly just brilliant at it. JVs is, joint ventures. So we're going to go ahead and put a link underneath the video so that everybody can take advantage of that. And you're invited. It's a free webinar. So you can, hear Rich and his brilliance talk about how to actually work with other people, which is so great, to be able to expand your business or whatever it is you're looking for. I mean, because you just don't know who you know and what they know. That happened to me the other day. I used to be a pharmaceutical rep, and my godmother's son, called me up and said, hey, you used to be in the pharmaceutical industry. My daughter just graduated from college. Who do you know? And so I hooked her up, and now, she's got a job because of he knew I knew someone, and it's like domino effect. So you just don't know what's available when you partner with people.
That's right. Yeah, we can't do this on our own. We don't need to do this on our own. I believe that competition is dead, and that collaboration is the new competition. So we do have a webinar coming up. It's specifically meant for coaches, authors, speakers, experts, leaders in the transformational space, anyone that has a message and you want to get that message out to the masses. We're going to teach you through the power of joint ventures, which, by the way, are the fastest, cheapest, and funnest way to build a business. It's how I built my business, Christy. It's the number one way you built your business. So my business partner, I have a partner, go figure, in that. Alana Lashinsky, she and I will lead this live webinar, and we'd love, it's totally free, and we're going to teach you a lot, and we'd love to have you join in if you want.
Awesome. Well, Rich, I love you. I'm so appreciative of you being here and sharing your wisdom, and I love I love my friends and the depth of conversation that we can have without trying to organize and what we're going to talk about. It's like it just comes from a very deep place, and it always expands me, which I appreciate. So thank you. And everybody, let us know what you're taking away from this. What did you learn today that you'll be able to take in your own life and apply today to either raise your own vibration, process your own emotions, or go out and create strategic partnerships. So have an awesome week. Thanks, Rich. Thanks, Richie Rich.